The audience settled into morning routines, but frenzy erupted the moment cameras flashed to Meghan Markle entering the Live with Kelly and Mark studio. She greeted Kelly Ripa with forced warmth and sat beside Mark Consuelos, whose grin held an edge. Initially, the tone was light discussion of Meghan's podcast, Philanthropic Goals. But tension sharpened when Ripa chimed in. People say your image shifts depending on who's watching. How real are you really? Meghan's polite smile stiffened. Consuelos leaned forward, eyes calculating. So you launched a wellness podcast after high-profile media exits. Doesn't that sound performative? Meghan blinked, stunned. As the audience audibly said, what followed was a storm questions volleyed over authenticity, contradictions in Meghan's timelines, and her statements on royalty and media. Meghan responded calmly at first, but the relentless back and forth rattled her. At one point she asked, "Is this an interview or an ambush setup?" The studio shifted. Consuelos retaliated with a smirk. If you walked in expecting softballs, maybe you picked the wrong live show. Meghan's eyes flashed. Ripa sighed, then said sharply, "We need honest and not headlines." The exchange collapsed. Removed her mic deliberately and stood. The hosts exchanged satisfied glances. The cameras rolled on as she turned and walked away, empty chair, echoing her exit in the minutes after. The host smiled into the camera with forced composure. Kelly said, "Sometimes conversations don't go as planned, but we thank Meghan for her time." The audience sat stunned. Behind the scenes, producers were scrambling, dial tones heavy. Clips of Meghan's silent walk-off poured on line renders. Titled "Consuelos Owned Her," Mark claps back at Meghan. Ripa exposes royal PR. Social media erupted, divided, vicious, amplified, asterisk by evening. Pundits and talk shows were dissecting the showdown. Was Meghan overly sensitive to critique, or did Kelly and Mark cross lines? Editorials debated tone. Was this legitimate journalism or a publicity stunt disguised as confrontation? Meghan remained silent, no tweets, no statement, no press defense. Meanwhile, Kelly teased another robust interview segment the next morning. Mark joked in rehearsals, "Well, I guess I showed her." But in private, the tension lingered. Consultants whispered about brand damage. Some fans accused the hosts of undue harshness toward a guest trying to reframe her public image the next day. Headlines across tabloids and mainstream media screamed. Every possible variation of the Clash Royal Rumble on morning TV, Kelly and Mark grill, Meghan Markle, Markle meltdown, or media trap, debates raged. Loyal fans of Meghan rallied under #IST, and with Meghan calling the interview a takedown disguised as daytime TV. Others insisted she had finally been held accountable. Kelly and Mark opened their next show with casual bravado, avoiding direct mention of the fallout. "We have another big guest today," Mark joked, "and we promise to keep it civil." It landed flat. Even their usual upbeat banter felt deflated. Producers had instructed them not to engage further. The network was monitoring backlash closely. Meanwhile, Meghan surfaced quietly, not through an official statement, but through a candid photo posted by a close friend. She was seen in a cafe with a laptop, earbuds in, head down, no glam, no security detail in sight. The caption read, "Only some storms pass. Some get documented." The image spread like wildfire. PR experts noted it as a masterclass in restraint. No drama, just dignity. Meanwhile, executives behind Live with Kelly and Mark began fielding quiet concerns from sponsors and media partners. Had the tone shifted too far? Were the hosts blurring the line between direct and disrespectful? Internally, both Kelly and Mark felt it. Not guilt exactly, but discomfort. There had been a moment on set when Meghan's guard dropped for a split second. Not defensiveness, not spin, but vulnerability. And neither of them had paused. Not to pivot. Not to listen. That moment now played on repeat in their minds. Not because of the public outcry, but because of what it revealed, that maybe, just maybe in their quest to challenge the narrative, they'd missed the person behind it. Behind the scenes, both camps retreated into strategy mode. Meghan's team fielded offers from sympathetic outlet Sopra, Gayle King. Even international platforms eager to give her the last word. But Meghan declined all of them. Instead, she quietly arranged a visit to a local women's shelter in Los Angeles. Closed to press, no announcement. Word leaked only after a staffer posted a blurry group photo captioned simply, "Real ones. Show up without cameras." The contrast to the glitzy fallout of the live show was stark, and public opinion began shifting again this time, away from viral spectacle and toward substance. Meghan's silence was reinterpreted, not as avoidance, but as poise. Meanwhile, at ABC, the live team held a closed-door meeting where producers reviewed the full interview footage frame by frame. There was no network reprimand, but feedback was pointed. You had a conversation that became an event. That's not always the win, it looks like. Mark felt the sting more than Kelly. He had wanted to cut through the fluff, but he now questioned whether tone had trumped tact. Kelly, for her part, was rattled in a different way. She had spent her career balancing levity with candor, but something about Meghan's silence after the show haunted her. That night she typed and deleted the same sentence in her notes app over and over. "We didn't listen. We just waited for our turn to talk," though the show didn't issue an official apology. Kelly ended the week's final broadcast with a curious statement. Sometimes when conversations go off script, they reveal more about the host than the guest. That's something we're sitting with. It was subtle, but sincere. And in a media culture addicted to immediate escalation, it felt like something rare. The first flicker of reflection. Asterisk.